the smell of the mountains, the fresh, crisp air. It's so nice to be back in Colorado.
So they would start their grinding up here, and then as it turned into the flour consistency, they could just push it on back here and then just keep grinding.
Well, this is home for the next 4 nights. In all honesty, I'm just here for the views. Just like smiling so big. I'm so happy to be here again. It's such a cool park. Sand for days. We're Dennis and Liz, full-time travelers and RVers who have been exploring North America full-time since 2017. In last week's episode, we showed you the ugly side of RV living, dealing with a water leak and scooter issue before driving 750 miles from the hot hills of Texas to the cool mountains of Colorado, where we pick you up in today's episode. We're in Colorado!
We're in Colorado!
Is that hail?
That was freaking wild. Not only just dumped a bunch of rain right here, there's a few mud washes that we've gone over that have gone over the road.
From Colorado. We made it to our next destination, which is a harvest host called Indigenous Roots. And it's a super special place we're really excited to share with you because it's not our typical harvest host stop. It's not a vineyard.
It's not a brewery.
It's not a farm or a museum. It's an educational center to help people learn more about Native and Indigenous cultures and practices. And normally, if it's not COVID, she does different tour groups where you can actually come, take hikes here, see artifacts, you get to sleep in a teepee village, learning how to connect with nature. Really amazing things. But unfortunately, with the virus, she's just allowing harvest host people to come stay overnight and kind of build your own experience.
Last night we were hoping to do a little bit of stargazing, and Pam actually shared the Cheyenne Ursa Minor creation story about 7 brothers who didn't have a sister to take care of them. I'm not going to tell you the whole story because I would totally butcher it, but look it up online. It's the Cheyenne Ursa Minor creation story, and it was amazing. But unfortunately, we couldn't actually do any stargazing, even though she says you can see the Milky Way clear as day out here because it was overcast and raining off and on. So we turned it in early, and now we're going to do a hike up to her teepee village. And there's an area where she's found most likely Ute artifacts where they've dug mortar and pestles and stone grinders literally out of the side of the mountain.
We do have snake gaiters that were provided by Pam if you're coming to visit, because we are definitely in bear and rattlesnake country. So we're taking the proper precautions if we're going on a hike and even just walking around her property. It's not developed at all, so it's very much connecting in nature. Sage. Literally the entire mountain just has the aroma of fresh sage.
Hankola, Tatio Ashtewi, Sakanju, Tatanka Oyate. Hello friends, I'm Goodwind Woman from the Sakanju clan of the Buffalo people. You may know them as the Lakota Sioux. You may wonder, she doesn't look native. I've been adopted into the Lakota Sioux tribe out of Rosebud, South Dakota. It's been over 20 some years that I've been learning from the Lakota tribe. What I noticed as a social studies teacher, in the textbooks, things were missing about Native and Indigenous people. What was missing was the deepness and understanding of the culture. And of course there was also things that weren't true because it wasn't written by someone from the culture. It just started to not feel good to know that there's that much misinformation out there. And so I decided that I wanted to start a business teaching Native American cultural immersion. So I don't just teach, oh hey, here's this tribe named the Ute, here's this tribe named the Apache, although those aren't the names that they would call themselves. So we actually immerse and we do Native things with replicas of artifacts, actually, to get to know the thinking of behind someone's culture. As a teacher, I feel that is the most powerful way to help people get that global understanding. And so that's my mission here. So here's 3 of the bedrock artifacts. So there's 3 large ones on this particular rock. And the one that's right here, this one is definitely for either corn, if they had traded it, say, with another tribe or nation or pueblo. But acorns definitely are very prevalent here. And so they would have also, even though they're kind of bitter, would have smashed them up to make flour. And so that's called the metate. It's a Spanish word for like grinding. The women would have had a rock, roundish rock that would have fit in whatever size their hand was. And then they would just tap on the, say, corn kernel, tap it to crack it open, and then even turn the rock a little bit sideways to tap it, and then they would just push and grind until it was pulverized into flour. But what is remarkable about this one is it's slanted. So they would start their grinding up here, and then as it turned into the flour consistency, they could just push it on back here and then just keep grinding. The smaller ones were probably used even by the medicine people, where you would smash, with that pestle to get the plant ground up, broken up.
Our time at Indigenous Roots was wonderful. We feel so grateful that Pamela was willing to share her knowledge and wisdom with us, helping us learn more about Native culture and the tribes that lived here. While we would have loved to talk and explore more, it was time to head to our next destination, the Great Sand Dunes. The drive out of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains was spectacular. Lush green hills with huge mountains, it made us feel like we were in the sound of music and truly took our breath away. Well, this is home for the next 4 nights. We have been to this campsite before. The first time we visited Great Sand Dunes, we ended up staying here with 2 of our friends, and it was the perfect spot to explore this area and take in all of these incredible views. It's about 20 minutes from the actual entrance of the Great Sand Dunes, and in order to camp here, you do have to pay, but instead of paying per night like a usual campground, you actually have to purchase a hunting or fishing license from Colorado Wildlife and Fish Management. You can either purchase a permit for a year, or you can purchase it for up to 5 days at a time. We purchased ours online, but you can also go online to the Colorado Fisheries Department and find out where you can purchase a permit in an actual store. This campground is big rig friendly. We brought our huge fifth wheel here the first time, and there is 20, 30, and 50 amp at every single site, as well as a picnic table, a fire ring, and there is a dump station at the front as well as a dumpster. But there is no water. But I think tonight we are just going to enjoy these amazing views, this incredible weather, make some dinner, and we'll pick you up tomorrow as we explore the Great Sand Dunes. Tonight's dinner is a roasted red pepper butter with Creole seasoning on chickpea pasta, and then we love this alternative protein. It's made from mycoprotein, which is like a mushroom derivative, and it tastes just like chicken. And then we have some arugula on the side with Parmesan. It's a nice easy meal, but really, in all honesty, I'm just here for the views. I could be eating anything. With these views, I mean, everything will taste good. It does taste good though.
So I know this looks absolutely ridiculous, but the thing you need to know about the Great Sand Dunes, if you've never been here before, is there's no right footwear if you're planning on hiking the dunes. You're literally gonna fill whatever shoes you're wearing up to your ankles, if not more, with sand. And then that sand's gonna stay in those shoes for the rest of your life with those shoes. So I'm gonna try a little bit of a different combination today. I'm going to put the water shoes back on without the socks. And then if I start to get chafed because of the sand in between the water shoes and my feet, then I'm gonna put the socks back on.
I, on the other hand, am taking the route of sneakers and socks. I have 2 pairs of sneakers. These are my old pair, so I don't really mind if they get covered in like orange dust and have sand in them forever. We made it to the visitor center. We normally travel when we're in the United States with a National Parks Pass. Ours expired last year while we were renovating the RV, and then of course we were in Mexico. Didn't make sense to renew one. So we purchased one today, and now we're going to add the Great Sand Dune stamp to our National Passport book. We've had this the entire time we've been RVing, and we have a ton of stamps in our book for each region we visited. And it's really nice to just remember where you've been. It even has the date that you were there. See all of the amazing places you've traveled to. Black Canyon, Mesa Verde, Arches, Canyonlands, Great Sand Dunes.
Yeah, look at that. What does it say?
The last time we were here was May 9th, 2018. Man, we've gone a lot of places. Those sand dunes behind us are where we're going to be climbing. So we're making our way to the second tallest dune. You'll see little tiny dots in the sand dunes, and those are people making their way up there. If you are planning on coming, earlier hours are better. We're not exactly a great example of that. It's 11 o'clock right now, but it says in the peak of summer, the sand temperatures can get up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. You can rent snowboards, or in this case, sandboards, just like as if you were snowboarding, and go down the sand dunes. We did not choose to do that this time, although we have seen people who have done it, and it looked really fun. I just am still getting over a little bit of a pulled neck, pulled shoulder thing from all the fun we had at Lake Travis. So I figured potentially tumbling down a huge sand dune would not help my injury. So we're gonna just push ourselves by hiking.
Let's take the Tranquilo route.
Yes.
Huffing and puffing. I mean, we're really high in altitude right now, plus it's just hard work walking in sand. Like, have you ever tried to run on the beach Yeah, now climb up a hill. A really steep, tall hill.
We're getting close, and it's crazy because once you kind of get high enough, you can just see dunes for miles. They're all very deceiving. You think you're getting close, and then you get to the next mound, and it's a huge hill you have to cross again. Very deceiving. We made it to the top!
We made it.
It was a lot of work, but it is worth it when you get up here. The views are incredible.
For sure. And this is exactly the same spot we ended our hike with Patrick and Irene
2 years
two
ago.
years ago, the first time we were here.
Now I think we're just going to enjoy the view, have a snack before we get to take the fun part down, which is running.
Oh my God!
I don't know what just happened. It was so peaceful and there was no wind, and all of a sudden a huge windstorm just came through and we got pelted, knocked our GoPro over. We were trying to get a time lapse.
Oh, this is
not enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, it's time to go.
Time to go. We were gonna get all of these like photos for Instagram. It's not happening. Oh my God, look at that. One hour to get up, 5 minutes to get down. Sand for days. There's a clear winner on whose shoe choice was the best. Dennis. If you have water shoes or like those Tevas that are like strappy but kind of sandally, give you some grip, those are the best shoes to wear here. Because my socks and my shoes have like at least a pound of sand in them combined. You may be wondering, what are you doing leaving with Dennis on the scooter and Liz driving the van? Where are you going? Well, my friends, we have not perfected the art of dry camping in the smaller rig. We are set up to have solar, we can run everything off of our batteries, but the water situation.
Well, we've only got a 29-gallon tank.
We both took one shower, we lasted 3 nights, and we're back to fill up water because we still have another night to go. One good thing about moving, however, is that we moved to a better spot. One that is directly facing the Great Sand Dunes and the lake. It's just like the most epic views.
And it was totally level. Didn't have to use any blocks.
No. So look,
nice.
The water was just motivation to get to a better spot. We're gonna cook some dinner now and have a campfire enjoying this amazing weather. Colorado in summer is like where it is at.
Yeah, I'm a cheater.
Tonight's meal is rice with the radish and sweet potato you saw me cooking earlier, 2 soft-boiled eggs, a bit of arugula and broccoli microgreens, a little bit of avocado, and then a chipotle tahini orange juice dressing on top. This is gonna be banging. Plant-based, delicious, healthy. We came back to the Great Sand Dunes today. It is the last day in this area, and while we definitely have some work to get done, we thought it'd be a nice break to come and do a trail, kind of see a different side of this national park that a lot of people don't take the time to explore. Now, our first time we came here, we ended up going to the Zapata's Falls Recreation Area, which is about a 45-minute drive from our campground and about a 30-minute drive from Great Sand Dunes National Park if you're camping here. It's definitely worth exploring. There is a really beautiful waterfall. It's only a 1-mile round trip hike, but there is a really rough gravel bumpy road for about 3 miles to get there. And our scooter is just not fit for that kind of travel. So we decided to skip the Zapata Falls area, and this time we're doing a hike to the overlook of the dunes, which I believe is 2.3 round trip miles. Let's get ready to hike. We're back at the house. We are showered, we are shaved, and I think we're gonna end the vlog here. It's our last night. We're just gonna enjoy, have dinner by the fire again, enjoy this cool weather. Plus, tonight's the first night that the sky is actually clear.
Yeah, we've been here for 4 nights and it's been like thunderstormy, really cloudy, kind of rainy all around us every single night except for tonight, which is awesome because we're gonna hopefully see the Milky Way in its full glory.
Stargazing at its finest.
Yep.
If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to our channel.
But unfortunately, we couldn't do any stargazing because it was raining off and on and totally overcast.
Pretty epic. This is our campground for the next 4 nights.